Approximately 22 days ago, Fire Emblem Three Houses came out for the Nintendo Switch. And in that short amount of time, not only did Fire Emblem Three Houses become my favorite game on the Nintendo Switch, but my favorite Fire Emblem game to date. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Fable Joey, and I am so excited to make this video. This is my spoiler-free review for Fire Emblem Three Houses. And just to get it out of the way, I played the Blue Lion's Path, so I do not have experience with the other two, but I am going to play those two eventually. I know that I will run through all three paths in time, but just to let you guys know, I played through the Blue Lion's Path. It shouldn't make too much of a difference. I'm just reviewing the game as a whole. And once again, this is spoiler-free. I promise not to give any story spoilers or any character spoilers or anything like that. This is completely spoiler-free. It is just my thoughts on the game and my review. You can find my spoiler-filled review coming out soon, hopefully, and that'll spoil just about everything. But it is a spoiler review, so this is spoiler-free review, and let's get into everything. So like I said, it only took 22 days for this to become my favorite game on the Nintendo Switch, and that means a lot coming from someone who has absolutely loved games like Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey and Xenoblade Chronicles X. For this to be my favorite game on the Switch, it's really a big deal. And for most of you know, Fire Emblem is my second favorite gaming franchise of all time. I've played so many Fire Emblem games, and I've been playing this franchise since I was just a little kid. If you saw the last video that I made, you guys know that. But it's such an important series to me, and for this game to be as good as it is means the absolute world to me as a Fire Emblem fan. So let's get into everything I loved. I think I want to break it down mostly into about 4 categories or so. Mostly talking about the gameplay, the music, the story, the characters, and really just a verdict. And honestly, I'll just get this out of the way right now. I think the game is unbelievably phenomenal. So if you're not someone who enjoys this game, you might not want to watch this video, because what I have to say about this game is overwhelmingly positive. Now, I won't touch on everything super in deep like I will in my spoiler-filled review, but let's start with the music, because I seriously think that the music in this game is some of the best music that I've ever heard in a video game. In that 22 days, that short period of time, the soundtrack for Fire Emblem Three Houses is also in my top 5 video game soundtracks. It took 22 days for someone who's as obsessed with music and video game music like me for this to go up there. So that should be saying something. I love the music. Every single track is phenomenal, and I'll touch on more specific tracks when I do my spoiler-filled review, but from the opening track to Edge of Dawn to the tracks that play as the credits roll, Fire Emblem Three Houses music is unbelievable. It is so epic. It just brings a whole new feel to the game, whether you're playing in battles, or whether you're watching an emotional cutscene, or maybe 2 characters are making a joke. There is always fantastic music to accompany what is ever happening in the game. And I cannot thank Intelligent Systems enough for crafting this beautiful soundtrack. It is absolutely wonderful. So I am head over heels for the music in this game. I think it is fantastic, and it is just one of my many favorite things about Fire Emblem Three Houses. So let's touch on the gameplay. Obviously, a game is only as good as its gameplay. If it doesn't have good gameplay, then the whole game kind of falls apart. So, what do I think about the gameplay? Once again, I think it's absolutely fantastic. As far as Fire Emblem games go, this is the best of the bunch. It is unbelievable. And we're not just talking about the battle gameplay, which is fantastic. I honestly think it is strategic JRPGs at its finest. The battles are so much fun to go through. They look fantastic. The battle animations are so sleek and flashy. The critical animations are so great. Sending a huge battalion of soldiers after one unit is just the single most satisfying thing for a Fire Emblem fan to see. It is unbelievably brilliant, and I honestly cannot wait what they see to do with the next installment. It's hard to see where they're going to go from here, but as for gameplay, it's absolutely brilliant. I'm sure most of you already knew that. We've talked a little bit about how much I love the battle gameplay, but we have not touched on everything else. And the battles are not the only thing that we can talk about gameplay-wise. There is the biggest thing in this game, well, at least I think so, is the mechanics when it comes to teaching your students, being a professor at the Garrick Mach Monastery, aka Hogwarts. It's brilliant. The gameplay here is absolutely phenomenal, and I have so much to talk about. If someone would have come up and told me a couple weeks before the game came out, or even a day, that I would enjoy teaching my students, having them level up in certain skills, getting them better with certain weapons, if I would like that just as much, if not even more, than the battle gameplay, I would have laughed at them. But now, after playing the game, it is 110% true. I am absolutely loving every second of teaching my students. This game is so good at making stupid things, like things that seem so dumb, unbelievably brilliant. Like, it shouldn't be this fun to teach my students. It shouldn't be this fun to level up students with certain skills to get them better with certain weapons, but it is. It is so satisfying to see your student go into a certain class that you wanted them to level up into, or get really good with a weapon that you wanted them to get good with, or just changing a student's class to something that might be more satisfying for the way you play. All of it is just so expertly crafted, and I cannot praise the people at Intelligent Systems enough for crafting a game that is unbelievably fantastic in every single one of its things. Like I said before, the game has spectacular music. The gameplay is phenomenal, whether you're teaching or battling, and the cutscenes. The anime cutscenes are brilliant. A lot of people had some complaints with Echo's cutscenes, which was the last Fire Emblem game. The cutscenes are done by the same people, but I think the cutscenes are so much better here than they were in Echo's. I really love the Echo's cutscenes. I can see people's complaints with them, but they do such a great job with the cutscenes in this game. They feel so emotional and so well animated. They're always very swift, and I love these cutscenes. And it also helps that the game is 110% fully voice acted. Yes, you heard me. Every single line of dialogue in this game is voice acted. And may I say, the voice acting is unbelievably fantastic. I know a lot of people have problems with games when they're fully voiced. There's a lot of times when you're playing a game that could be fully voiced where you're like, dang, I really hate this person's voice. I wish they had a better voice. I did not say that about one character, at least in my house. I loved the voice actors that they picked for everyone in English. They were so brilliant, especially Dimitri. Dimitri's voice actor is doing an incredible job. If there was like an Oscar nomination for a voice actor in a video game, at least for me anyway, it would go to Dimitri. He gives the most strong performance. He is just so fantastic, and whatever he wants you to feel, whatever emotions he wants you to feel, or anything like that, he just captures it so brilliantly. It makes every single line of dialogue that he delivers just so much more impactful that way. And it's so fun to listen to someone who is as experienced as he is to like go through these voicing things, and it's fantastic. The voice acting's amazing. It kind of sounds like I don't know what I'm talking about, which I don't totally, but trust me, the voice acting is a lot better than you could ever expect it to be, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So like I said, this is kind of like a basic review. It's not like everything into depth. I've hardly mentioned anything with the story, which is unbelievable, by the way, but I'll save that for my spoiler review. It's fantastic. I think the writing is great. It is video game writing at its finest, if you ask me, along with the gameplay and the music. I gush about everything in this game, but it's because everything needs to be gushed about. I absolutely love Fire Emblem Three Houses, if you couldn't already tell. From the music to the characters to the battle animations, I fell in love with this game from the second I started playing it, and hopefully you guys have too. Fire Emblem Three Houses has hit me so hard. It's been so long since I found a game that I was so thoroughly invested into and had such a blast playing. Every single second of my experience with this game has been wonderful. I really do love the story. I think it's so captivating, and I really do think that new players can enjoy this. If you've never played a Fire Emblem game before, maybe try it. Maybe you'll love it. I introduced my cousin to this. He had no experience with Fire Emblem games whatsoever. In fact, he actually asked me if Marth would be appearing in this game, which I kind of had to laugh at, but he never had experience with a Fire Emblem game before. It was his first in the series. He beat the game in 2 weeks, and he has told me that it is one of his favorite games of all time. So if that doesn't show you that new people who've never played a Fire Emblem game before can fall in love with it, then I don't know what will. But there's a little example for you just how great this game is. Honestly, they put so much work into this. It's so great that we live in a time where we can get a Fire Emblem game like this, which mixes elements from past Fire Emblem games all into just one beautiful Harry Potter simulator. I absolutely love Fire Emblem Three Houses. I cannot wait to make that spoiler-filled review. But just one last thing from you guys, like, this is just huge. This is just huge for me as a Fire Emblem fan. So if I seem a bit more serious in this video, it's because I'm talking about my second favorite game franchise of all time. This game is brilliant. Brilliant. I love all of it. It is so fantastic. I really hope you guys have been enjoying it. And if you haven't bought it yet, what are you doing? Come on, get out there. It's $60, which is just as much as the other new games. Go buy it. Seriously, guys, thank you so much for watching. I had a blast making this video. I've been wanting to talk about this game for the longest time, and I was finally able to just talk about everything that I wanted to. So thank you guys so much for watching. It seriously means the world to me that people click on this and that people watch it and comment. So thank you so much. And really, yeah, just thank you guys. Go play Fire Emblem if you haven't already. This game is unbelievable. Once again, it is my favorite game on the Switch. It is my favorite Fire Emblem installment. Can't wait to make that spoiler-filled review. I really hope you guys are enjoying the game. This has been Fable Joey's review of Fire Emblem Three Houses, and if you guys want to score, if you're one of those people who just skips to the end of the video for a score, this might not make sense, but this game is perfect. It's not perfect for everyone, but it's perfect for me. And that's what I mean by saying that I love this game so much. It is perfect for me. It is everything that I personally wanted in a Fire Emblem game and more. It is everything I could have ever wanted in a Fire Emblem game, and it just speaks to me on a whole nother level. This game is perfect to me. It may not be perfect to you, but at least to me, this is a perfect Fire Emblem installment. I love this game. If you want that shining 10 out of 10 number, if you have to slap something on it, go ahead. I love this game. It's fantastic. No one can tell me otherwise. How dare you have your own opinion? This game is brilliant. I had such a blast playing it. Thank you guys once again so much for watching, and I will see you next time.